Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 50k until the end of the year. Help me out there, it really does help a lot. And let's get going, guys. So we are flying out in the patch day with the YAK-41 or 141, and this is basically these are going to be my first impressions on it. So first things first, obviously amazing performance. It's just, I mean, in the engine department, acceleration, radar-wise, look at this radar. It's just amazing. It gets basically the max scale because the scale is still wrong. Obviously, the Soviets used the 150 kilometer scale as well. And even in the Sukhoi 27, it was 200 and even more. But on this radar, it's probably around 150, but they didn't add that for some reason. They didn't add the PESA function of the vertical scan. I did the bug report, and they just completely said that the authors were wrong for some reason, even though like all the authors of every single like publication on this radar, they say that it is a vertical PESA radar. But anyway, I think they will add this kind of functionality once we have for more aircraft, probably just like they did with Pull Stopper. So we will need to wait probably. But still, even with those little things that are kind of annoying, no double stack R60M, no R27 ERs on the outside pylons as well. Remember that you can only use in the inner pylons the ERs, which is kind of odd, but it kind of makes sense in the weight kind of department. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I think it's a balancing factor, but still, it is kind of weird. So with all these limitations, is it good? Yes, it's amazing. One thing that you need to consider is that we have different maps right now. So this is an EC map, but normally out of, I don't know, 10 matches, you will get like 8 of them in this kind of mixed situation between an EC map and a normal smaller map. And then once upon a time you will get a smaller map, and once upon a time you will get an EC map. But normally you will see in the upcoming clips there that we are having this kind of mixed between an EC and small maps kind of situations, which means that we are having to do BVR from long range. You can fly low and get people by surprise, but I think it's the most fun possible to have in this game to actually just fly very high and try to get people by surprise or with the BVR, right? So yeah, 40 kilometer shots are basically in every single match, and you do need to be careful with the Phoenixes, with the other ERs and other stuff. It is pretty good. On the aircraft itself, I think it's very good at this. It is due to two facts. Obviously the missiles are amazing. The ER is one of the best missiles, if not the best missile in the game for BVR, together with the Zuk radar. The Zuk radar has an 85 side look kind of situation there that you can actually look. So it is very much a very good radar for just cranking and while you maintain a lock to try to get some people. Doesn't mean that it is 100%, you know, hit rates. No, it is not. As you see over here, I missed the first one, and we are going to probably miss the second one if I don't, if I think, and we are going to even miss the third R27T. So you can miss a lot of shots if you're not paying attention. I am still getting used to the aircraft. It is a different aircraft to fly than the MiG-29. I feel like it is a little bit less nimble, and I just feel less comfortable with it. But I think it's just a matter of time, you know, in the battles. I will need to make more videos talking about the performance itself and how it does kind of tends to work. And here we have the first dogfight that I had using the VTOL. At first I forgot that I had VTOL, and then I tried to use it. And as you're going to see, I will lose a lot of speed, but I can just maintain a very good like position on the F-16 there. And F-16 basically cannot do anything. I think it's a very dangerous thing to do. Because you will be standing still and you can get missiled very quickly and very fast, or get gunned down, you know, because you are slower. Remember, the thing is that it's more like you are being able to control the aircraft itself on a lower airspeed than actually using the thrust vectoring for your own sake Remember, you are pulling basically the thrust vectoring only downwards, which means that it is not as good for actually, doing an axis turn, and making the aircraft actually pitch up. It is just controlling the aircraft and creating, quote unquote, a little bit more lift, or a little bit something on the lift vector, which means that it is just more controllable in a lower speed, which means that you can make the aircraft that you are trying to face basically overshoot every single time, or just continue to not be able to turn as much as it can because you are slower than them and be able to control the aircraft. So it's kind of a funny situation, but yeah. And also, a lot of these aircraft, I will make a video about it, have the lead indicator as you see over here. I'm still getting used to it as well, but it is indeed a very good thing. If you get used to it, it is amazing and you can snipe people very quickly, and it's just a lot easier to actually hit somebody. It's not 100% fault proof, but it is indeed a feature that it does help a lot with the aircraft. So overall, talking about all of these things, I think, yes, it is one of the best aircraft in the game. But I still have to fly it a little bit more to see if it's better than an F-16 or a MiG-29, especially after the update on the flight model of both of these aircraft. It is definitely one of the best, but I don't know if it's the best. I still think that flying on the MiG-29 it's a lot more comfortable. It is an aircraft that tends to turn a lot easier. Don't expect YAK-41 to actually just be great in every single type of turn. If you don't use the VTOL and you can control that type of situation that I was telling you about, it turns worse than the F-16 and the MiG-29. It's not like by much, but it is indeed less. So you do need to be careful with that. The radar, it's the best radar that the Soviets had. It is the best radar that the Germans, not the Germans, no, did. It's the best radar that the Soviets have, right? And it is one of the best radars that every single other nation would have as well. It is far superior than the radar on the F-16. And against the F-14, I have to test the Fox Hunter on the Tornado ADV because that thing is amazing as well. I will be doing a video on it. And the F-14 radar, I mean, it has more range to it, but overall in technology and the way that it works, I still think that it is easier and better to use the Zook, which is the radar on the YAK-41. The F-14, yes, it is going to be better at range, and the TWS is a little bit quicker, as again we needed the vertical PESA radar to actually be able to be usable, in the sense of just having a quicker time on the scan zone to actually have a proper TWS. So while we don't have that, if it's work in progress or whatever, it is still, the F-14 has some advantages, and I would imagine that the Fox Hunter on the Tornado ADV would have as well. But it is up there, right? It is a very modern radar, and I think in the future it will only get better. It's supposed to have ground modes, so in the future, if we ever see ground radars being added to the game for aircraft, fixed wing aircraft, we will probably see something along those lines of that. And if we see electronic scanned array radars as well in the future, this is one of those that will get that as well. So if we get that, it will be like comparable to a F-18 radar kind of situation, right? So it's a lot superior to what we see right now in the game, but we will need to wait and see if it actually is, going to be added like that. On the side of missiles and stuff, I mean, R-27ER, as I already said, standard missile for the Soviets, the T or the R-60Ms, nothing too fancy. You can only carry 4 missiles at all, so there is a problem along the lines of that. I think it will be very competitive for now, but once we get like Su-27s, F-15s, or other aircraft like that, I think it is just going to get stomped a little bit. So yeah, for now it's going to be amazing. I think maybe not the greatest aircraft of the game, but up there. And in the future we'll probably stay behind a little bit. Of course, if we get the upgrades on radars and stuff, and also get something like an R77 or anything like that, R73, of course, those things will improve the aircraft. But right now, as it is, I think it's just I would say it's like a A aircraft. If A plus, it is the most, like, the highest rank that you can actually say, this would be an A. You know, I would still take the MiG-29 over this, but there are little things that these aircraft do better than the MiG-29. The BVR is one of them. Of course, you can carry more BVR missiles, and also the radar has more range on it, even though it's a smaller radar, which is a funny little thing called technology, right? A smaller radar, lighter radar that produces more range and better overall performance than the older N019, which is also very fun. Everything else, I think the game overall, I mean, like, it was improved a lot, by a lot, you know. Radars feel good to use and it feel realistic. The maps are amazing. I mean, look at this, man. It's BVR fight after BVR fight. It's such a cool thing. It's not even funny, man. I know I'm missing a lot of shots and whatever, you know. I still need to get used to it again with this new meta, and I do think it's a new meta, hopefully. And please, Gaijin, if you are listening to this, please don't remove this rotation of maps. Please, I mean, smaller maps, man, whatever. Put them on the 10.0 bracket. Everybody will love it, whatever. But these bigger maps are literally perfect for these aircraft. It's perfect. They're not that big, they're not that small. You take less than 2 minutes to get to that battle, to the proper battle, and you're already firing missiles. Less than 2 minutes, sometimes even less than 1 minute, you know. So there's still smaller maps that you don't need to wait to play the game, you know. And you still have the ability to do the dogfights, but they're a little bit more spread out. You need to be careful with your 6. Something is always trying to get you from like a sneak kind of point of view, right? You need to use your radar, so it's perfect for these modern aircraft. Maybe for lower BRs, it's not that good, but for higher BRs like this, high altitude dogfights, high altitude BVR engagements, you have a reason to actually try to climb and get people from further away with a missile. So it is just amazing, and hopefully, please just maintain this. Really, really, it is something that we needed for these aircraft, and the more we go into the future, more of these maps are going to be needed, so just please maintain this. It's all I ask. Yeah, ER kill there, and just amazing. I had so much fun flying these matches, man, and I wasn't even killing anything, if you saw. I mean, I was just missing a lot of shots and getting used to the dogfighting capabilities of the aircraft, just getting stomped by MiG-29s that know what they're doing. But it was just so fun because of the maps and because of the radars and missiles and stuff. It is the perfect game. But basically this is it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about the YAK and the new maps, and I will be covering more things in the patch. Okay, so keep an eye out. Subscribe, and I see you guys on the next one. I don't know what was that.